Good evening. I am known as Shatak. I will speak for Malvar as he will not be with you this evening.
However, we all speak the same language, so nothing will be lost. Malvar belongs to the council and is in the upper chamber this evening. In the two previous talks by my worthy brother, he discussed at some length a few of the underlying principles in the construction of what is called matter, and while these discussions seemed rather lengthy, it is necessary to prepare you, as otherwise, the true meaning of much that will be described to you, or that you may see with your mind's eye, may be lost. Chapter 3. The Infinite Fountainhead of Light. In passing in review what has previously been explained, I hope that by now you will have begun to understand just what is meant by the relationship of mass and energy, and that mass and energy are all one and the same, the difference being in the way in which they are perceived according to such dimensional factors as time and space. In the atom, we find energy expressed in the relationship of time and space in such a way that it is seemingly solid, or mass. The lightning which streaks through the sky, or the light from the sun, is somewhat the same energy expressed in a different way with the factors of time and space. Now that we have begun to understand the natural phenomenon of energy, either as a moving dynamic force or as an apparently solid substance, we must not say that the expression or materialization of mass and energy is confined in what might be called the natural sequence of such manifestations, as you are accustomed to in your daily lives. In other words, you will find individually in your soul evolution your own particular cycle, whereby you shall be able to use and direct energy from a higher dimensional plane through the channel of the mind, and without the use of the hands. In your earth life existence, ideas are formed usually through the interrelative thought processes. In order to materialize such an idea, it must be worked out with the various materialistic processes which you have evolved in your daily transmission of life. The use of familiar everyday objects about you were all originally such ideas. The watch which you wear on your wrist, or the machine you call the automobile, are all products of countless ideas, and were brought into materialization only through a great deal of work and experimentation. In a more highly evolved state of consciousness, such an idea of materialization would of course seem very crude. Such negative qualities as fear, human error, tolerances, and production failures do not enter in. Such a highly evolved mind conceives, visualizes, and realizes the infinite perfection of universal energy which stems from the fountainhead. Such energy needs only the proper directive channel to individualize its potentialities. You people of the earth have often called this energy God, and as has been explained, as God, it is infinite, so he must express not only infinity, but infinite individualism. It is that infinite wisdom of God which has conceived that by the creation of man, he has individualized himself, and as that man exists in the countless planes and dimensions in which God expresses and lives in the infinite, so he also likewise expresses himself in all these realms and dimensions
In a finite way.
Therefore, my friends, we must not say that I am better than such a man, or look down on someone whose skin is of a different color. Likewise, we must love everybody, for if we love them not, how can we love our God, who has created himself in a finite way in every man? Now that we have discussed our relationship with the infinite creator, we can begin to visualize that it is indeed a great and sacred thing, and one of holy trust.
When in this stage of evolution, We find ourselves an open, directive channel for this God force.
And yet, here again is God expressing infinity, for in all other roles, he has assumed the supreme position of the Master Creator. So now he becomes in a finite way subservient through the channel of man's mind. This has been expressed in a lesser degree in the creative ideology of the people of the earth and of similar planes. God, there, as in all other places, still being the prompting, uplifting overlord, in assuming the role of mastership, God and his wondrous, creative power and wisdom became the complete obedient servant of the individual. For now the individual can direct this creative intelligent energy in such a manner that it will create all of the things that the individual deems necessary for the time and place. The Avatar Christ, in performing his miracles, did just this. The stories of the various healings are those in which the creative life energy of God was so directed that it became healed flesh. A closer analysis of this process would reveal that this creative structure was followed by a secondary instantaneous regrouping into molecular structures that thus became healed. You may ask how it is possible for the mind of an individual to assume mastership over God as it may first appear. This is not correct. We must remember that the individual is God, only in a finite, personalized form, and in expressing individualized personality, has assumed a correct and delicately balanced relationship with the infinite God. On the planet Venus, we all who are living here have taken our first step in the relationship of such mastership. It is here, in our daily lives, that we put into practice this harmonious, creative relationship with the fountainhead in all of the acts of our daily lives. Mind is the creative principle using and directing this God force in the creation of all the essentials of life. As was touched upon previously, your familiar sense of mass or solidity would be valueless here. All atomic structures which compose this planet and all of the things about it do not, shall we say, vibrate in the same plane of relationship from the emanating source of the fountainhead. Therefore, your 5 physical senses of touch, taste, smell, seeing, and hearing would be quite useless here, as they have been evolved to function in atomic structures and frequencies which were of a lower and different relationship to the fountainhead. However, to us, our world is, in a general sense, quite as solid as yours. Our various functions of sight, sound, hearing, smell, and feeling are of course evolved to function in this particular plane or dimension. Here again, I must draw a similarity picture. While you say, in a spiritual sense, God supplies your every need, yet you find it necessary to plant the seed and harvest the crop, or you must mine and smelt metal, or in whatever particular direction you may look, you must engage and work for the necessities of life. In our world, God is like the fountainhead of all supply. However, we do not find it necessary to earn the daily essentials with the sweat of our brow. In our understanding, God has become the supreme energizing force which feeds our bodies, which clothes us, and which, in short, does everything for us without the expenditure of time and energy or a great preponderance of machinery. I may point out that in your Bible, you will find accounts of certain avatars or holy men who fed themselves directly from the fountainhead, and so lived for many days without food or drink passing their lips, nor did they suffer any discomfort in doing so. Tonight we are ringing a great golden bell in the central chapel, so that its vibrations will carry across the distances which separate us in a physical sense from mankind who lives on many planets, and each note of this golden bell carries with it the united and concerted prayer of love and goodwill to man wherever he may be found. On the next occasion, my brother Malvar will attend you. Until then, I, Shatak, wish upon you all the graces of the Almighty God. Chapter 4: The Science of Space Travel.
I was later one of these, and because of my nationality was never trusted. My part in that drama was simply to acquaint myself with its physical foundation, to be a participant, however small, in that era. Much later, in your terms, I would end up as a minor pope in the 3rd century, meeting again some of those I had known, and, if you will forgive a humorous note, once more familiar with the sound of bells.